Hello Scorpio, welcome to The Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. Today we're going to do the December reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So if you know your sun sign and it's Scorpio, you're in the right place. If you know your moon and your rising signs, make sure to look for those as well. So I changed it up a little bit today. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And I pulled a few cards with different decks for each to kind of get like a pretty clear picture of what's going on for you in these four areas. Overall, the spread looks good. It looks like you're moving in the right direction. I do see some challenges, but there's never a month without that, generally, unless you've just gone through a lot of them and you kind of have a reprieve, but otherwise, there's always some challenges. But it's really potent. I mean, there's a lot of really good energy here for you, and I'm excited to see what all of this brings up for you as you move forward. So we're just going to go ahead and start with health. I pulled the Chariot using the Thoth deck. This is kind of going to be your core energy for your health sector in the month of December, and then we'll kind of explore these with different clarifiers that I've pulled. So the Chariot's great. It shows up twice. It shows up in your wealth as well. So that being said, it looks like a core kind of tenet of your health this month is making sure that you're staying on top of things with your work in the world, or however income's coming in or anything like that, with your resources. I'm feeling a really big hit on self-esteem in terms of, I get the sense that you guys are really moving forward with something you feel passionate about, and you're doing good work, and it has heart and meaning for you, and it really seems like things are really taking off for you. If you've had, a bit of a waiting period for a while, it looks like this is the month to move forward. And once you do start moving forward and building momentum, I think things will happen really fast for you. And so, I mean, the Chariot being in your health sector, I get the sense that you feel good. If you felt lethargic or lacking energy recently, I think that your energy is going to start to pick up. You're going to start to feel a lot better. This looks good. This looks like you, for the most part, your body is in good shape and allowing you to take care of the things that you need to take care of with relative ease. And yeah, in terms of mental, emotional health, I think what's going to really stabilize you this month is making sure that you're on top of your to-do list and things like that. Okay, so let's explore this a little bit more deeply. I used the Jungian Tarot to clarify. I pulled the Queen of Cups reversed. Some of you may not be totally in tune with your emotions this month. This may be because you're afraid to go there. Maybe you just don't have time because we had Chariot twice, which means that you are really busy. It's paired with the Seven of Wands, and it came up in the reverse. And so I think what's happening here is you may feel like you're under a lot of pressure, particularly if you are pursuing things that have heart and meaning and you're making things happen, and you're leveling up in your career or health sector or wealth sector, so to speak. And then you're taking on more challenging work. And with that, I just get the sense that maybe some self-doubt is coming up, or there's just this feeling of like you're hitting this resistance, where it feels like you're not understanding the material, or you're not sure how to move forward, even though these opportunities are presenting themselves to you. So in that, I think the greatest source of emotional stress this month is coming from that. I still feel like this is a good place for you to be, because when we're brushing up against that resistance, usually what's happening is we're headed towards a major breakthrough. We just haven't broken through the wall yet. So what you're feeling is the pressure of that wall kind of coming down on you. So just be mindful of that, and be mindful of any self-doubt stories that come up, because you can do this. It's hard because you're leveling up, because you're learning something, and you're maybe learning something that's particularly important that you'll be able to apply throughout the rest of your life, in terms of what you want moving forward. So just be mindful of that. We also have the Wheel of Fortune, which again, I think the biggest source of your health and happiness this month is coming from, breaking cycles, or experiencing some sort of turnaround. I get the sense that for many of you, I really don't read Wheel of Fortune often as like something big is coming in. I think that's kind of a cop-out, because Wheel of Fortune really is this deep internal sense of like you're breaking karmic cycles and you're making new ones. But I am sensing into the fact that your fortune really is turning around. Either something might come in this month for you that changes the game, and it will contribute to this pressure you're feeling, because this thing that's coming in could be exactly what you want, but it could be really big, and that's scary. Or if something's not coming in for you, you are carving that path yourself, and you're taking new action in the world that's going to lead you down a path that's more suited to your well-being. So that's really, really powerful stuff. Your health sector looks great. So let's look at wealth. Like I said, these are kind of connected because the Chariot's coming up in both sectors here. So the Three of Wands, you're waiting for your ships to come in. That's kind of the classic way to read this. With the Three of Wands, what I'm getting is some of you may be really focused on fixing your schedule or getting yourself on a schedule if you're not on a schedule. That's like making lists, making a calendar for yourself, making sure that you are showing up and doing good work each and every day, and you have a structure in order for that to happen, forming better habit patterns, and being a little more intentional with your time. This also, the caveat with this is saying that yes, you're on the right track. No, you may not be seeing major results yet. Like, this is kind of like, keep growing, allow the growth to kind of naturally occur, allow yourself to stay consistent with whatever it is that you're moving towards, but you're still gonna have to wait a little bit because you're still kind of at the beginning of this, whatever this is, okay? Clarifying that again, we have the Chariot. So you're really putting your work in. I mean, you're really doing the work. And so between these two, what's important to recognize is that your work is not going unnoticed. People are noticing you. Or at the very least, you are aware of the own work that you're doing if other people aren't noticing you. Although with the Three of Wands and the Chariot together, I do get the sense that there are people outside of yourself that are taking note of what it is that you're doing, whether or not you're aware of it, okay? So that's the first step, people noticing you, right? People may take action or reach out to you at a later date, but you want to kind of allow this kind of energy to accumulate, and just let people keep noticing you, observing you, and seeing the good work that you're doing, because that's going to have a payoff eventually. And that's what this Three of Wands is kind of saying, is like, you're not at the finish line yet. Be patient. You're doing good work. Don't drop the ball, okay? And then we also have, clarifying that with Albano weight, we have the Five of Wands. It's in the reverse. Traditionally, this is read in the upright as like you're having... you're basically competing with other people. So if you're like going after a new job position, there's other people that are competing with you. The Five of Wands reverse is really saying that you're just competing with yourself. Now, this could show up in a few ways. One, you could just be competing with your own ego and the stories that come up that tell you you're not good enough to do this, or you should stop now, or you're too good for this so you don't have to try, or like any kind of variation of that tries to derail you because it's scared of change and it's scared of growth. It's comfortable with where it is and it doesn't want you to stop. That could be one thing. The other thing is maybe this is just a course of personal mastery that you're on. You're recognizing the areas of yourself that need improvement, and you're just working to improve on them and grow and learn and kind of strengthen the muscles that you haven't strengthened before. Which, if that's the case, kudos to you. And I really see that here with the Chariot, where if you're in a mode where you're not caring about the competition, or what other people think of you, especially if they're looking at you, not caring what they think of you, and just focused on how can I be the best me each and every day, how can I improve myself as I go along this and fuck everybody else, that is what's ultimately going to allow you to see the results that you need, because you're not expending so much energy afraid of the way that people are looking at you, or afraid of not being the best or something like that, because that can actually be super detrimental to your process, and it can paralyze you, or it can alienate people, and you don't want to do that. Clarifying the Five of Wands, I pulled the King of Wands. This is about stepping into leadership. And I feel like I've read this for you guys a few times throughout the year at different points, where you're being asked to step up and be a leader in ways you've never had before, or you are, whatever challenges you're facing now, or whatever developmentally that you are moving through, what this is ultimately cultivating is your ability to lead. So recognize within yourself the leadership qualities that you do have, and then ask yourself, what do you want to do with that? You know, how do you want to be a leader, and what do you want to lead? What do you have to offer, right? And that will benefit you in the long haul, because whatever it is that you're in the process of doing now, you can kind of apply to how is this teaching me how to be a leader, and how can I approach my process with greater depth, okay? Awesome. Love. Now, this could be intimate relationship if you're married, in a relationship, whatever. This could be if you're single and looking for love, or you're dating. This could also be, I mean, if you're single and happy, this could be, or regardless of your relationship status, this could be anybody else in your life. This could be family, this could be friends, this could even be work relationships, okay? So just apply this to your life, however it's showing up for you in the moment. We have the Ten of Swords reversed. I like this better in the reverse. This is kind of like pulling swords out. I get the sense that you may be kind of approaching the end of a karmic cycle, where a lot of the stories that you're telling yourself that are getting in the way of your intimate relationships, you may be clearing out a lot of them. And so any fears that you may have, or any stories of unworthiness you tell yourself of like, I'm unworthy of love, I don't deserve my partner, or anything like that, I get the sense that you're aware of them at this point, and you're just pulling them out one by one. You're just getting rid of those stories and old narratives and breaking things apart. And it feels really good. That's a great place for you to be. It's paired with the Queen of Swords, which is interesting. It looks like, I mean, this could be whoever you're in a relationship with is, you know, Scorpio, you're a water sign, you're very emotional. Maybe you're with an air sign. Queen of Swords is Libra on the zodiac, but it could be any air sign, or it could be any person that is a lot less emotional than you are. Maybe they're just hyper logical. Maybe they just don't know how to connect with you on a deeper emotional level. And so maybe that's something that you need to address with them, or maybe it's not a problem, and maybe they're teaching you how to show up and be more logical and less emotional in terms of your approach to this relationship or these stories, kind of teaching you not to be less emotional necessarily, but how to balance it out with logic, so that you're not you know, constantly kind of in this whirlwind of story and emotion, and you can kind of ground yourself a little bit more and kind of bring a little bit more awareness to the table. I guess an example of this that I would mention is like, if you're really lost in the emotions of a relationship, you can really get into fantasy, or like not see the relationship clearly because you're focused on the love you have for them. And I totally get that. And I think at a certain point, especially at the beginning, that's super normal. But at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, if you're thinking long term, you know, how does this person fit into my life? Do we have similar lifestyles? Do we want the same things? Are we really healthy, or do we just trigger each other in toxic ways? Is this ultimately what I want for myself? And so you may just be drawn to asking these questions in the relationship you're in. Like, is this still good for me? If I were to zoom out of my own emotions and look at this in the kind of grand scheme of things, is this what I want, or am I just kind of focused on the details right now? Yeah, I mean, emotion is important, of course, but there's also this, you know, this idea of like, you can't choose who you love, but you can choose who to be with. So that is just maybe what's coming up. Or maybe you're just dealing with an air sign or a Libra. That's the person that you're in a relationship with, and it's just an indication of that and how they're showing up in your relationship. Maybe you need to talk to them about how to be more emotionally expressive and more vulnerable with you, because maybe that's what you need out of the relationship, and they don't have that skill set, right? So just keep that in mind. Clarifying that, we also have the Ten of Cups reversed. So this is kind of reflecting what I was just saying about, are you in tune with what you want? If you're looking for a relationship, this is great, because whether you're dating or you're just thinking about the type of person that you do want, this is really setting you up to be discerning in the partners that you choose moving forward. Because this is, are you happy? Are you happy with the relationship that you're in? Are you happy with what you're looking for? What kind of partner do you want? And how are you going to get it? If this is a current relationship, are you hyper focused on the things that aren't working, or are you not focused enough on the things that are not working? Because you know, if you are trying to just toe the line and not get wrapped up in the things that aren't working for you, that's just going to lead to resentment down the line. And so if you haven't noticed things that you want to change in your relationship or cultivate in your relationship, that's just something you're going to have to bring to your partner. I mean, once you figure out what you do want, and how to bridge that gap, you know, if you're dealing with this Libra air sign, or just, you know, logic based person who is not giving you enough of the emotional availability that you want, you know, instead of just saying, okay, whatever, that's how they are, I'm just gonna have to deal with it, step up and say, no, I really do need you to be more emotionally vulnerable with me. I need you to listen to, you know, my emotional state more, and you know, hold space for that. I need to really understand where you're at, because I don't, right? The other thing that this could be is if you're fantasizing. I mean, that's kind of the same idea, in the sense that instead of being aware of what's not working, you're just kind of projecting a future in which all your problems are solved, and just kind of hanging out there instead, like, oh, you know, I don't have to work or talk to my partner about this. It's just, you know, once we're married and everything, like, all this is going to be fixed and it's going to be perfect or whatever. So just be careful of fantasy thinking, because what that's doing is keeping you from being in tune with what's really going on in the present moment in your relationship. The other thing you could be doing is, if this Queen of Swords is actually you could just be hyper focused on what's not working, in a way that's not healthy. So maybe it's just little things, or little things that, you know, you need to compromise on or accept in your partner, because they're just little nitpicky things or whatever they are. And you know, maybe it's just out of fear of vulnerability or something like that. You may just be really focused on the things that aren't working, even if the things that aren't working are really not the biggest deal. So I mean, any of those things could apply to you, but this is just asking you, are you happy? And this is asking you, are you in tune with what's really going on in your relationship? Okay. But this is all ultimately to clear out your own stories, right? So I don't think this is a problem. I think this is just the process that you're in. Okay. Destiny. We have the Princess of Discs. In a Rider-Waite, this would be like the Page of Pentacles. You're growing something. And it could be in all areas. I feel this really holistically. This is Pentacles, which means wealth, but it also means home. Or it could be like the seed of anything, really, any kind of project, anything that matters to you. You're growing. You're moving towards your destiny. You're growing. You've planted the seeds recently, and you are nurturing them now. This feels really peaceful, because I get the sense that for many of you, you do know exactly what you want, you know who you are and where you're going, and it's just a matter of doing the work and, you know, walking down your path as you're doing it. It's not like you're trying to find the path. I get the sense that you are on the path, many of you, and so this is just saying that you're going full speed ahead with this Chariot. You're really going, right? But with the Three of Wands here as well, these cards together are just saying, make sure that you're also taking your time, because, you know, it's not a race. Your life is not a race. Just live your life and do things that you enjoy, and continue to learn and grow, and be present with where you're at, okay? Clarifying that, we have the Eight of Wands reversed. Okay. This could be communication breakdown of some sort. Interesting. There may just be a disconnect between you and the people around you. Like maybe this, you know, may not be everyone, but maybe it's just certain people around you, where it feels like whatever you're going through, you don't know how to communicate it to others, or they just don't understand you or what you're going through right now. Now, this could obviously be if you're going through any real challenges, but this could also be all of your successes. Like if you're really in a rich, abundant flow in your life, in your process, and you're having a lot of things to celebrate, maybe it's just hard for you to share those things with the people in your life right now, because they don't really understand the path that you're on. And I mean, in a sense, that's super normal, because, you know, you're you and everyone else is on their own process. So there's kind of, you know, a lack of ability to really, for someone to really understand you inside out, because they're not you. And that's okay. but that can also be a hard pill to swallow if you haven't gone through that process. So you may have some feelings about that. Maybe you just feel out of touch with your community. Maybe you feel lonely. I mean, that's super normal. Obviously, with coronavirus still going around, I mean, our community experience is not what we're used to. And so, I mean, I just encourage you to reach out to people that that you can be vulnerable with, or that you do trust, so that you can kind of talk about whatever it is that you do need to talk about. I just get the sense that there's something you do need to get off your chest, but either you don't know how to say it, or you feel like you can't say it, or maybe it feels like no one's paying attention. But I mean, I think there are people in your corner. It's just a matter of maybe facing the fear of that vulnerability, or really taking the time to reach out to them and say, hey, this is serious. I need to talk to someone. Okay. So just be aware of that. And then 3 of Wands is coming up again in your destiny, which is great because we have wealth here, and then we also have health and destiny attached to it. So whatever it is that you're doing right now, it feels like it's really going to have long-term benefits for you, and it's really aligned with your soul's purpose. It did show up in the reversal in your destiny position. So maybe you guys are just asking yourself, especially because you're really on this track right now with the Chariot where you're really taking a lot of action. You may just be asking yourself, am I on the right path? Is what I'm doing right now for career, wealth, whatever, to put food on the table, is it taking me towards what I really want? You may be asking yourself if there's anything you need to adjust. And there may or may not be, a negative answer to this. You could just ask yourself, is this what I want? Yes, right? And that's the only self-reflection you need. Some of you may be like, is this what I want? Almost, but I need to change this and this. And some of you may be like, no, I need to turn this ship around. I'm not getting a lot of that, but I mean, I'm holding space for the possibility. I think many of you just maybe need to make some micro adjustments, or kind of zoom out and get a bigger sense of, if what you're doing right now is not totally in line with what you ultimately want, how is it still serving what you ultimately want in terms of how you're growing and changing, how you're stepping into leadership and cultivating leadership abilities, things like that. So, yeah, this is just a checkpoint to ask yourself, is what I'm doing what I need to be doing? What do I need to adjust? And what is this going to bring me to in terms of my destiny? Okay. I think that's all I have for you. I mean, that was jam-packed. That is a lot of information. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that gave you some perspective, or at least a lot of things to kind of work on and go through and think about. If you have a personal concern, please reach out to me in the description box below, and you can book time with me. Go ahead and give this video a like if you like this video, so other people can see it. Subscribe so you can see the next Scorpio video. And I think that's all I have for you guys. So have a great December and a good holiday season.